Hello RC friends and welcome to this video today where today I'm talking to you about my first time ever racing my brand new GT12. I got it second-hand. I've got a load of second-hand batteries and second-hand motors. I've also recently picked myself up an MTC, which is currently on the floor here because it's broken, and a touring car, but that is also currently broken. I tend to have a habit of breaking cars, but quite surprisingly, this little GT12 seemed to come out of it unscathed. Well, most of it did. I'm a bit suspicious about the motor, but we're gonna get into that a little bit later on. Ooh. Also later on, there's going to be more touring car videos, GT12 videos, mini touring car, Marday, pretty much everything competitive RC racing. So if you want to make sure you watch that content and you don't miss it, hit that big old subscribe button, turn on notifications, drop a comment too, so YouTube is like, hey look, you do like these videos. And then you'll get told about them in future and you won't be missing them. Sadly, my local club, AORSC, does not race GT12s currently, but there is another local one to me, Leighton Buzzard Model Car Club, that does do GT12. They also do MTC and TC2, so potentially in future I'll be able to run multiple cars there, which I'm very excited about. So with the track nearby and the car ready, I packed up all my stuff and headed off. And the club was lovely. It's at a school in Leighton Buzzard. It's in like the school hall, which is really big. The track is big as well. It's about double the size of what I'm used to, so that was a bit of an experience kind of getting to learn that. And it's also a little bit bumpy in areas. I don't know if it was just that time there it was bumpy, but I was told by a friend who goes there that it can be a little bit bumpy. A lot of the bumpy areas you can kind of avoid, but there is one main corner which is quite bumpy, to the point where I had to raise my body shell and also cut some off of the sides here as well, because I just go around the area and I just hear like of the body, which wasn't really good. Quite luckily for me, a couple of the familiar faces there, Mr. Steve and Mr. Frank, they were actually running their GT12s there too, which for me was a bit of a stroke of luck because I kind of know what I'm doing with the Marday Mini, and a lot of that information can translate to other cars, but every car is also unique. So Mr. Steve and Mr. Frank, thank you very much for helping me out on the night. It was very, very helpful, and I don't think I would have done as well as I would have done if you didn't give me those pointers, so thank you very much. Also, Mr. Jimmy came and raced that night, and with Jimmy there and our cars prepped, it was finally ready for practice. Practice was fun. The car was a little bit slower than the others there, but that was kind of expected because they're running their cars every single week, and this is literally an old one that I got off someone, and I've just kind of set it up to what I would imagine would be okay as a way to run it. Luckily for me though, grip was good, steering was good, like it handled really nicely, and I really enjoyed racing on such a big track. Unfortunately though, I only had second-hand batteries to use in this car, and during the practice I actually had to swap one of them out about 5 laps in because it was just so naff. I do have a couple which seem okay, so I've only ordered one new one for now, but if there's a huge performance difference between that and the existing ones, then we'll just get a brand new set. After practice, Mr. Steve came up and he made some recommendations about my rear tyres. I was running like the contact control tyres with the little kind of like green rim about it, and apparently for their track, Q foams were a much better option, and luckily for me, I actually did have some Q foams in my box, so I swapped them over, got them on the car, put additive on them, and then they were pretty much all ready to go. But as the track is a little bit bumpy, I wanted to raise it up a little bit, so quickly managed to do that and then enjoyed it for the races. I didn't break anything, which for me is a very big deal. Like I said earlier, I took the MTC and the TC to the Aylesbury Club the other week, and during practice, I managed to break both of them. If I can get through a night of racing without breaking anything, that is a very successful night. And I know what you're going to say, it's just because I'm a bad driver, and yeah, I completely agree, but only when I'm driving something I don't know how to drive. But with this one, with the GT12, I actually went really slow, got to understand the car, and I think that's why I didn't actually end up breaking anything. Now, because my car was a little bit slower than the other cars on the track, I was very careful to make sure I got out of the way so the other guys could kind of continue their racing as if I wasn't wasn't there. The last thing I want is for me to be this new guy that goes to the track and then holds up my entire race just because I'm not getting out the way with proper racing etiquette. Now for the third race, I wanted to have more speed, so I went and had another chat with Steve and Frank, and Mr. Frank gave me a pinion gear so I could gear up my motor. I also adjusted the motor timing all the way up to 60 because I have no idea what I'm doing, and I thought changing that would make the car go faster and I would have no repercussions.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
And you know what? It did make it go faster. The only downside is I think I may have cooked my motor.
My motor smells medium rare.
Someone smelled hot, come on.
Yes, me.
Luckily, I do have a spare 13.5 turn motor, but I am considering buying a new motor, and I've been looking around at maybe like the LRP X22 or the Hobbywing 13.5 turn, like, what's that, Z-Run. But if you have any recommendations, please do let me know in chat. From this point onwards, I'm only ever going to be buying brand new motors and brand new batteries, just because I want to be guaranteed of their histories and their performance. It definitely was not my driving that was making me slow. No, it wasn't my driving at all that was making me slow. Don't even think it was my driving that was making me slow. All in all, it was a successful night. It was fun, the racing was good, I learned a lot from the car, and I'll definitely be going back there to race some more. And I didn't break anything, although Jimmy did. He broke some wishbone mouldings and the front spool, but it's my car, so that's my stuff that broke anyway, so I guess technically I still did break something. Hopefully next time we won't break anything, but yeah, we'll wait and see. These are new cars to us. We have experience in this realm, but you know, new cars are always new beasts, so we just gotta learn how to drive them properly. And you don't want to miss us learning them to drive properly, so hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.